The Chicago State University Foundation is celebrating 20 years. The executive director, Mr. Katey Assem, discusses and elaborates on the significance of this milestone occasion.
20 years ago, the former chairman of Jewel Companies and his wife, Don Perkins, and his wife, Jane, decided that Chicago State students needed something that his children had. And that was that he wanted to have an opportunity to introduce the students of Chicago State after he visited the campus and met some of our students. And he was blown away that here is a gem in the city of Chicago and nobody knew anything about it. And people were not talking about the great work that was going here on this campus. And so they founded the Friends of CSU program. And all that program was exactly what its moniker says, that the students of Chicago State needed friends in the Loop and in the metropolitan area, just like the children of well-placed people had, quote, friends who introduced them to opportunities in the city. And as a result of that, the friends would come together once a year and have a dinner, and they would select an honoree from among the friends and honor that person, and in so doing raise funds to provide scholarships for the students. Now, you can imagine 20 years ago, we didn't have computer labs on this campus. Through this program, we were able to provide computer labs for our students where students could go and use a free computer. 20 years ago, students needed scholarships, just like today they need scholarships. Sometimes students come in here and they need $1,000 to be able to buy their books, and they don't have $1,000. And because of $1,000, they're not able to get their education. And Jacoby Dickens, who was one of the friends, always would say to me, Katey, money should never be the reason why a student is not able to attain their education. Now, if they can't go to school, that's a different story. But if it's money, then we have to do everything we can in our power to make sure that they get their education. And so for the past 20 years, we've been working day and night to make sure that our students get scholarships. There is a criterion. And sometimes the criterion is not always the top students. Sometimes it's based on the student's circumstances. Because if you have a baby in the back crying and wailing away, and you got 3 other mouths to feed, and you got homework to do and all of that, you're not going to end up being the top A student in your class. Some do, but you're not always going to turn out to be the top A student. And so we look at the student's particular circumstances, and through that, the faculty and the dean staff work with us to make sure that we're able to identify students who are in need and who need a hand up. And we provide them with scholarships and opportunities through this program so that they can get some money to go to school. And so we've been doing the Friends of CSU. Now, how do we select our honorees? We select our honorees based on individuals, one, who have been friends to Chicago State University, first of all. It has to be somebody who is passionate about education, somebody who understands the mission of Chicago State, somebody who's been here and who understands what it is that we're trying to do here and wants to be a part of it. And the friends, and it has to be somebody who's a corporate executive in the city of Chicago that other people respect, that people will come out and support. And because we're able to put all of that together, I don't make the selection, the board makes the selection. They make the decision and then pick the person and honor the person. Typically, we've honored the president of a company, the chairman of a company, and that kind of stuff. in 20 years, we have had some exceptional friends. As I mentioned, Jane and Don Perkins, Jacoby Dickens, Cordell Reed, John Hooker, Randall Hampton, Ned and Joe Janata, and the list goes on and on and on and on. But these people have lent their name to our cause. And through that, we've been able to raise over $20 million to provide scholarships for students who attend Chicago State University.
The Chicago State University Foundation is literally a circle of friends. Mr. Assem describes the nature of that friendship.
The friendship is nothing. It's nothing like the cold process of financial aid. This is not financial aid. This is a friend in the true sense of the word. We call it our circle of friends. Mm-hmm. And what a circle is, we say, if we should join our hands, may our circle be complete. And so your friends join their hands with you and they make sure that your circle is complete. That whatever it is that you're trying to do, which is to attain your education, that your friends join with you to make your circle complete, to make your process complete. So the friend process is a completely different process. It means that they don't only give you money, they help you get an internship, they help you get a job when you graduate, they help connect you to other people so that, because in education, it's one thing to become educated. My mother always used to tell me, you could get all the book knowledge you need, but you also need to know the street knowledge. Friends give you that street knowledge. Friends give you that credibility on the street so that you're able to connect with other people, have relationships with other people. That's what fraternities and sororities do, is to give you a circle of friends so that you're connected to other people. And so that's what the friend process is all about.
Over the past 20 years, the foundation has seen many success stories and shared in priceless moments with the students.
For me, this is not about me. It's not about me. It's about the young people. Mm-hmm. And for those of us who work in the foundation and for the board, it's not about the individual board members. It's about the students. Because the joy that you get, when I get pictures from a young person who we helped to say, or a letter to say, thank you, I have a job at such and such a place, at ComEd, I have a job at Allstate, I'm working out. I get invited to the weddings. Some of them call me dad. I get a picture of a newborn baby. I go to church to hear one of them preach a sermon. I go to their parents, ceremonies and that kind of stuff, and to be connected. It becomes a family, and it becomes a different way in which you connect with these young people, and it's a passion. It's a very deep sense of commitment that we bring to the table, and the leadership of the university supports it. We have a president. We've had successive presidents who have supported this. Our current president, Dr. Watson, supports this very, very much. The deans, the entire university community understands this one-on-one connection. And our board members from the foundation especially understand this kind of connection. And our chairman, Maurice Grant, always talks about we've got to keep the students foremost in our minds, that the students are the most important thing and are the most important reason why we're here.
The honoree for this year's awards gala is Mr. Willard Evans, president of People's Gas. Mr. Assem talks about the kind of friend that Mr. Evans has been to the Chicago State University Foundation.
Will Evans is just an incredible young man. Will went to Northwestern.
Okay.
He spent 36 years at People's Gas. He grew up in the company. But Will has been the kind of person who never forgot from whence he came. He understands the fact that he came from the community. Will has been a person who has thought through about giving scholarships to young people. He has spent his time serving. His community involvement has been about making sure that young people become engineers. We have an engineering studies program here. Will is connected to our engineering studies program because what he has said is that I want somebody to step in my shoes and be like me. And there's no greater honor that a person like Will can have than to have somebody that he brought up step in his shoes. And that's the kind of friend that he's been to Chicago State University and our students. Every honoree is a unique honoree. Every honoree has brought something special to the place. You know, again, you know, when you mention a Cordell Reed, when you mention a Jacoby Dickens, when you mention a Jane and Don Perkins, when you mention Ned and Joe Janata, when you mention a Randall Hampton, when you mention, you know, it's just a long list of people who, the corporate community, people don't know how generous people in this city are. You know, and the one thing that we don't talk about, people like Jim Reynolds, you know, John Hooker, people don't talk about Frank Clark. People don't talk about the generosity of these people and how much they care about this city. And they demonstrate their care. What they do, they don't put a placard up. They don't hang a shingle up and say, look at me, look at what see ma, I gave. No, they don't do that. They do it and do it, you know, Lester and Nancy McKeever, they give of themselves so much and so often. And through these people's generosity and the connections that they have with friends, their friends, they call on their friends like Will Evans. You know, he reached out. He called 50 of his best friends and he says, look, I'm doing this and I want you to do something with me. You know, and that's
Wonderful.
What this is all about.
The Chicago State University Foundation has made a powerful impact on the student body and the community at large. Here are just a few examples of how they helped some students at a time when they just needed a friend to lend a helping hand.
I've had students walk in here and they say to me, Mr. Assem, I can't buy diapers for my baby. You know, we serve generally an older population here at Chicago State. Our average age is about 26, 27 years old, mostly women with 2 or 3 children. And they come in and they're faced with a dilemma of whether they buy diapers or they can't buy a bus pass to come to school. Not because they couldn't study hard, not because they couldn't do the work, but because they didn't have the funds to buy a bus pass. And so to be able to offer a student a scholarship. I have a young lady who she worked here in this office last semester. And now we got her a job at UPS in a program that we run called the Chicagoland Regional College Program. And she is now a part-time supervisor in that program. And she is paying it forward. And she comes in and she tells me about how she's telling other young people to make sure they go to school. Have we had an impact? I want to thank you. Thank God for giving us the strength to be able to make it for this long. I pray that He continues to strengthen us
Yes.
that he continues to bring us mentors, and that he continues to open doors for us, and that he continues to be a guide
Mm-hmm.
for us as we look towards the next 20 years, the next milestone, to make sure that the young people whose lives we impact
Yes.
will truly be changed in the manner that it needs to be changed, and that our city will be changed and our nation will be changed for the